never tell. Clearwater fan girl, she's got the views, spilling the tea on wrestling news. She's in the front row, she's on the floor. She's got an ear to the backstage door. Clearwater fan girl, give us some more.
Welcome to Clearwater Fangirl. I'm Angie Holland, and I am so excited today to have as my guest Queen Malikah. A lot of you don't know a lot about Queen Malikah. She is a businesswoman, she is a philanthropist, she is a wonderful person and an inspiration to us all, especially women. And on top of all of those things, she's actually the caregiver, the manager, the POA, and basically, I would say the guardian angel to one of our absolute most loved wrestlers, a wrestling legend, Hall of Famer, Abdullah the Butcher. And we are so excited to have her on here. Malikah, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, I am excited as you are. I really am. And I look forward to meeting you one day.
Me too. Same here. I mean, we've been talking about this for so long. Um, I hope you don't mind if we jump right in. Can you tell me a little bit about little Malikah? Where was Malikah born? Were you in the Atlanta area, or were you born somewhere else? Were you born in another town?
No, I was born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I come from a family. My mother had 10 children, seven boys and three girls.
Wow.
And
Can you go
I'm the
ahead?
baby girl.
You're the baby. Can
Yes.
can you give me a little idea about what your family life was like growing up in New Haven? Um,
Yes,
sure,
of course.
please.
My mom was a single parent for years. We struggled, and but there were times we didn't have heat and food to eat. And my mom was a great mom. You know, we didn't have the best, but she'd take us to the secondhand store, the Goodwill, and get us some nice clothes. And we always went to school clean. And basically, we had a good life other than that. My mother taught us morals and principles, and we were disciplined children. Yeah.
That's that's great. You're such a disciplined woman. You have so much drive. Do you think that your mom influenced that in you? To have so much drive and be so responsible and keep pushing in spite of obstacles. Do you think you got that from your mom?
Oh, of course. You know, when I think of my mom was a strong woman. And I often wonder how she did it, you know, with 10 children. There was nine of us at home, nine children at home. My mother, uh, we were disciplined. We all had jobs to do. And no matter what happened, my mother always was strong and she never gave up. And she disciplined us and we were good children. People loved to see nine of us come over to their homes and they loved to see us coming, you know, because we were well disciplined. And I am my mother's daughter, you know, I get my strength from her. And you know, a lot of people they forget once after the funeral is over, we forget about them. But my mother's legacy lives within me. You know, she fed the homeless. At our home, everybody was there. From, you know, we were very political. My mom was served on this town committee. She won that election, and my dad was a councilman. And so was my sister, but she was in another ward. But my family was very political, and our house was the house to go because that's where people come to, you know, because we showed them so much love. And that's what I get it from.
So do you think that the fact that your family was so actively involved in the community, that kind of led to you? I mean, I know we're going to talk a little later about your philanthropic efforts, your charity activities that you've done, but But before we jump into that, I'd really like to talk about you are a successful businesswoman. You are an
Yes.
entrepreneur. You have
Yes.
had businesses in Atlanta, a lot of them,
y-
retail stores. I mean, please share with us all of the different businesses that you've owned or you've run
hmm
over the last several years.
Can I start when I was a little child? My mother,
Oh,
yes, my mother,
absolutely.
she would sell things. My mother was like that. No matter what happened, she would always find ways to make money. And my mother was a seamstress also. I remember when I was a little girl, she made our prom gown for us when we were in, I think it was elementary school. I was graduating from there. But I used to make clothing for the dolls. And I was always motivated to make money. And so I would make clothing and earrings and different things. And I would sell it to my little friends for a nickel, a dime, 25 cents or whatever. And my mother taught us how to sew. I already knew how to hand sew because I taught myself, but my mother brought me a sewing machine and I learned to sew. And from there, I would sew for others. Okay. And I don't like to say a seamstress, I am a designer. I
Yes, you
design,
are.
I design clothing, interior designs. I do it all. I even make earrings. I mean, I can make somebody's home look like it came out of the pages, and I've been doing that for years. And I do interior designs with no patterns because when we were younger, we couldn't afford to buy patterns. So I would take a t-shirt and put it on top of there and make me a dress, or I used to sew all the time. So that's how I began making money.
Wow. And then from there, you kind of decided to become a business owner. So
Yes,
I've seen some of your designs, by the way,
yes,
for someone's office. I think you shared with me. They were absolutely gorgeous.
yes.
I've also seen photos of your retail stores, and your salons. So how did you get involved in so many different businesses at the same time? How did you
Well,
handle that?
let me just say, when I was in Connecticut, I worked at Yale New Haven Hospital as a unit manager, and then after that, and also part-time, I worked in the associate treasurer's office at Yale, and then from there, I worked at nursing administration. I'm just a person that I have that free spirit. And I don't like reporting to anybody. like being my own boss. So when I came here, it started when I came, well, actually in New Haven sewing. I always did sewing for people. But when I came here to Atlanta, Georgia, I worked at nursing administration and my brother was terminally ill. And I took care of him. The same way I take care of Abdullah, I took care of my brother. And I couldn't work. So I decided that I need to open up a business. So I opened up a business right on Auburn Avenue, right up the street from Martin Luther King's, the center. And I had a boutique and I would sew for people. I had these little skirts and long skirts. They were called bandana babies. I named them. And a lot of tourists would come over there. And I didn't know that I was that good. I just loved to sew. That was my hobby. And I started making money. So I said, wow, this is great. So I began sewing I mean, taking orders, and I would also go to the wholesalers. I had a beautiful store over there and it was popular. And I had that store for about 4 years and I got married and I closed it down to dedicate my life to my husband. And it was beginning, the homeless started to come in, and I would feed the homeless, but it began to be overwhelming where the tourists, they did, I guess they didn't want to venture out and come over that side of the street, which was a couple of blocks down, maybe a block and a half. So I decided to close the store down. But later on, about a few years later, I opened up a boutique My son and I, we opened up a boutique together. My son couldn't find a job. I said, look, if you can't find a job, let's create one. I said, you're not going to sit around and do nothing. I said, let's create a job. So we decided to open up a boutique. And that was on Auburn Avenue. After that, I opened up a gift shop. That was at the Ramada Plaza Hotel on Old National Highway near the airport. I had a nice gift shop, and people used to love to come to my gift shop. I'm a people person. That's what we were raised that way. We showed love to people. And somebody, and Ab would say this to me. I always tell everybody, hug everybody to come in the store. I love you. I love you. And Ab said, why do you say that all the time? He didn't like that word, love. I said, but you need to get acquainted with it. He said, I never told my mom and my dad that I loved them. I said, but it's okay. And I just tell the people that, and sometimes they would come downstairs from up in the hotel and just sit there and didn't want to leave. And
Oh,
yeah, they didn't want to leave my place, my business. And people would stand in long lines, especially when they had hurricanes at different parts of the country. And they would stand in long lines and they said, and one Asian woman said, I wish that I could take this gift shop and bring it up, take it everywhere because she traveled all over the place. And if I could take this gift shop and bring it to every hotel, because it's not just a gift shop, it's a place where you could just get the love and you could talk and everything. And people love my gift shop. So I was there for about 4 or 5 years. And I left and I came back to the same hotel again. And then I opened the gift shop and a restaurant there. They allowed me to open up a restaurant there. I had a restaurant there in the gift shop, but the restaurant didn't last long because it was so expensive. But at least I tried. And I
yes.
still, yes, at least I tried. But after that, I opened up a nail salon. It was beautiful. I think I sent you pictures. And
Yes.
beauty supply stores, that was near at the airport. And absolutely love that place. I intend to open up another business, but I want to sell online this time because I noticed after COVID, during the COVID, a lot of people uh, went online and they started selling stuff online. And I started this Queen's Beauty Supply Express. And
Okay.
yes, and I have a warehouse full of my stuff. And I intend to start open that back up because I love uh retail business.
Well,
I love
I
that.
would love to check that out. So
Yes,
let us know when it's up and running so that,
yes,
yeah, send me the link, please. Um,
yes.
so you talked a little bit about, that's when you kind of, started helping the homeless. So you were feeding the homeless. Was it out of that restaurant or how did you start? How did you start
Let me
feeding
get
the homeless?
um I started during when we were children, actually.
Uh-huh.
My mom was always feeding the homeless and she would bring us with her to feed the homeless and to teach us. And my mother always said to us, you may complain, but I want to bring you out here and see people less fortunate than you are. And she would bring us and we would go with her. We set up it. I mean, the people loved us. They knew us. And they would come, we would cook in the backyard, cook out, and people from all over would come to eat. And my dad would cook, have the grill and cook the meat, and my mother taught us we would serve the people, and we always did that. Our house was the place to go for the disenfranchised throughout New Haven, and I've learned that to serve others, and I love elderly people. I love them. I love elderly people, and because when we were coming up as children, uh, that's when family was family. we would
Right.
go on every Sunday. My mother would make us put on our Sunday best, and we would go to our grandmother and our grandfather's house, and they would have dinner. And when I tell you, they had the top of the line, uh, 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 what do you call that kind of dishes back then? They had everything, and we would sit at their feet and listen to the stories about their life, and they would teach us so much. And I would look forward to that. So that's how I began to help elderly people. I would go out there to their homes and bring them gifts and coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and we have long conversations. And I remember, I don't mean to talk you to death because I love these stories. They're great memories.
No, please share.
Yeah, and I worked at Yale. Yale had this building that they rented it out to their employees and the students. And I lived up in there, and this woman and her sister that worked at Yale for many years, I'll never forget it. Anne and Elizabeth Cooley. Her sister was a little slow mentally, but Anne, they would wait at the front door of the downstairs in the apartment building, wait for me to come. They called me Malachi, Malachi, and I would go because they love me and they would hug me. And I go upstairs and they bring me upstairs. I clean their house for them. I wash clothes and I do everything for them. So all of that was embedded in me from my upbringing to be of service to others and never forget what from whence you come from because my we couldn't eat at one time. So my mother brought us out there to let us see we still had food. Others would give us food. So it's time for us to give back. So when I came here to Atlanta, I started doing that. Oh my goodness. That's I love serving people. That's that's what I do best, really. So I go out there on Thanksgiving and the homeless, I would bring tablecloths, I would vases with the flowers, I would have the napkins. I would take pride in this because I didn't want them to think that I was just giving them anything. I would make turkey, I would do baked macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, collard greens. I'm a good cook now. I love to cook. I do so much. So I would cook all of this food for them. And there was this guardian angel because my mother was in the nursing home back then. And she would say, would say to herself, Lord Jesus, where is my child today? She would worry about me being out on the streets talking I would play music with them and hug them and my mother used to worry about me. But when I went out there one day, this guardian angel, his name is Melvin Hawk. Uh, I was downtown across from the prison, I don't know if it was a prison, it was the jailhouse. And I was doing Thanksgiving then. And all of a sudden, this guy come up and he started making everybody stand in line. Said, "Don't worry, I got your back." And he would help me every time I came out there. And there was this police officer that was waiting for his wife. She was a what do you call those people that work in the jail? They not
A,
police,
a turnkey or a guard?
guard.
A guard.
Yes. He was waiting for his wife and he watched me the whole time. Little did I know. And he came over and asked Melvin Hawk, who was I? And Melvin said, uh, he just met me and he told him my name. He gave him $300 for me to go and buy food and feed them again. And I took everything except all of that money, except for about $15 to buy gas. And I fed them again because he was impressed that I took pride in what I did. And that's how I met Abdullah the butcher.
Okay. So he was also feeding the homeless at the time? Was he
Yeah,
involved? Good.
oh, yeah, at that time, I didn't know who he was because I wasn't into wrestling. My
Right.
son was. So I had a line over there. They would be go over there with him, then they come over there to me because he was giving out coats, hats, socks, blankets. I couldn't afford that, but he was giving out, and I was so impressed. I said, "Let me go over here and see who this is giving out this stuff." I decided to walk over there, and I asked him, I asked somebody who's doing all of this, and they pointed to him. And I went over there and I spoke with him. I asked him his name. He said my name was Joe.
Okay.
And I said, I'm so impressed. I said, I have this organization, nonprofit, and it's called Flowers While They Live. And I said, I would love to collaborate with you. You give the clothing, we do the food. And I told him I could go to different places and see if they could donate clothing and food for us. And that's how we started. But I went over there, and my family was over there helping me. And I told him about him. So my son said, Can I go over there and meet them? And I said, Yeah, come on. So I took my son over there and I introduced him to Abdullah. I said, His name is Joe. And I was wondering why my son was looking at me strange. So I was wondering. So uh, after we walked away, my son met him and he gave my son his card and said, "Give this to your mom, and we could probably work together. You all call me. He's going to Japan. When I come back, uh, I you all call me." He told me when he was coming, told us when he's coming back. So uh, when we walked away, my son, Ma, you are so naive. He was laughing. He said, "You so naive." He said, "Ma, you don't know who that is." I said, "No." He said, "Ma, you don't know who that is. You know that man is real famous." And he said, "Remember you used to spank me and make me go to bed because I was watching wrestling all the time? That was my hero. That was one of the main ones." And he said, I forget the other one. Stone Cold later
Oh,
on. Oh,
yeah.
oh my goodness, he loved it. He said, I used to watch him all of the time. And you used to spank me because I didn't go to bed on time. He was the one that I used to watch. And I said, Are you kidding me? I said, No, that can't be it. He said his name was Joe. He said, You're going to tell me, and I know wrestling. And that's when I found out who he was. And when I told him when he came back from Japan, I said, Why would you? Because I don't like liars. I was offended by that. And he laughed and he said that, he don't tell too many people. He's so humble. He really is so humble. And that's how I met Abdullah.
So when you collaborated, at what point did that sort of just become a friendship? And then later on, how did you kind of transition to be more of his manager, his POA, his caretaker? How did that all come to about, I guess?
Okay. What happened was when he came back from Japan, I told him I was selling. This was during, I think, when Obama was running for office. I had my boutique at this time before I met him. And when the boutique was slow, my son would stay at the boutique. The both of us, we owned it. And I would go out because I'm a people person and sell handbags, oils, uh, uh, all kinds of stuff, you know. I would bring it with me and earrings, jewelry. I made a lot of jewelry. I'm gonna show you my jewelry. I
Okay.
make beautiful jewelry and I would go out selling them. And one day I hadn't been, we hadn't been in touch with each other for a couple months. I happened to go on Fairburn Road. I was all up down Campbellton and Fairburn. So he didn't call us when he came back. So I happened to go up the street and I wasn't paying any attention to the beauty salons, the barbershop selling hair clippers, curlers, hair dryers, and stuff like that. And I went inside there, and he was in there. I said, "That looks like that guy Abdullah the butcher." I didn't pay attention to the sign up top. He was sitting
Right.
there with Honest John. Honest John was his manager. What a great manager and friend he was to Abdullah. Abdullah talks about him all the time that he wish he was alive because he probably wouldn't be in this situation. But anyway, uh, Abdullah brought 10 pocketbooks from me. And I used to make t-shirt dresses with Obama on it and his wife. And I used to sell a lot of those. And he brought about five of them for his sisters, and he brought t-shirts for his brothers. I mean, he spent so much money, and I was shocked. So um I asked him, I said, "Can I start selling stuff on your patio?" I said, "I'm out here on slow days. How much would you charge me?" He said, "Let me think about it. Call me tomorrow." So I called him the next day and he said $50 each day. So he allowed me to sell on his patio. Uh, that's how we start our friendship. And I used to have a guy with me that I used to look out for him also. His name was Fred. And
Okay.
he used to be with me and my son. And even Abdullah, after Abdullah and I became friends, he became friends with Fred. And Fred, my son and I would sit out on his patio and sell all my merchandise and make good money because the people that would come, sometimes people from out of the country, Japanese people, different people would come and I would make the money out there. And I was so thankful. And the days that I didn't make money, he would say, "Don't, never mind."
Oh,
Yes, that's how he was. And every time his sisters came in town, he would spend a lot of money. Or when people come, tell him to go out and spend money with me. So I just admired the person. He was like I am. I am so charitable. I give sometimes till it hurts. And my son gets on me, my mom before she died, "Why do you do this? Why do you do this?" And that's part of me. And a lot of
mm,
times people don't understand. Uh, and no matter, sometimes I get hurt by others. You know how people, you give them an inch, they take them out. But my mother, I said, "Mom, this is part of me." And it's something that I try to stop, but I can't. And I said, when we were children, we didn't have things. So I want to make other people happy and give them what we didn't have. And that's what you see within me. That's the spirit that I live. Am I making sense?
yes, you are. And
Yes.
I've heard the same about Abdullah. So it just makes
Yes.
sense that you guys were such wonderful friends, that you hit it off the
Yes.
way that you did.
Yes.
So
Him
how
and
did,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, please go ahead. Finish your
Him
story.
and him and I and the guy Fred. Fred was on a fixed income and he didn't have much. He was an elder. I used to do the same thing for him. And the three of us, I don't know, I'll send it to you, this magnet that we would put on the car with all three of our pictures. We collaborated and all of us, and I would bring my son, my family, and friends, and we would feed the homeless together from that point. It's a beautiful thing to serve others. It really is.
Yes, it is.
It really is. Service is the best thing that you could do, because you become selfless. But there has
Yes.
to be balance. I learned balance, and my son has taught me balance, and he has taught me balance. That you can't give to everybody. Sometimes you don't have it to give, but I don't care. No matter how much I give, I get back. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. Where I remember years ago we didn't have it. So there's a lot of beauty in it, you know, really. And I mean that from the innermost depths of my heart.
Absolutely. So at that, was it at that point? So you had you gotten rid of your other businesses at that point? Just
Ye-
to make sure, so I understand, and you were concentrating mostly on the boutique, right? And the feeding of the homeless, or did you still have the nail salon and everything going on at the same time?
well, it was during COVID, I had to close down. A lot of businesses, you had to close down if it wasn't like a grocery store,
Especially the nail salon. Yep.
the nail salon, and even the beauty supply, a non-essential, something that people didn't need.
Right.
I had to close down my business for a couple, 2 or 3 months, and
Right.
I wasn't able to maintain, keep paying the lease, the building. We had the whole building. Matter of fact, in the building, my son did a heat press. He did t-shirts. I did interior designs. When things were slow, I do so much. I'm gifted, and I don't like to take the credit. God has given me so many gifts. I used to do reports and resumes for people that come in there. My son had the t-shirt. I used to do interior designs. I used to sew. We sold I had a beautiful office in there. Um, and we sold the beauty supplies and even herbs and stuff like that, products,
Right. Right.
you
Um,
know, natural.
so you had some of that still going on. You had your charity work. You were working with Abdullah. At what point did you take on the role of manager for him? When
Okay.
was it when he lost Honest John? Is that kind of when you slipped into that
Wow,
position?
exactly. Yes, that's when it
Okay.
happened. Just before I don't know if Honest John knew that he was uh, you know, s- that he was not going to be here long. He mentioned to me because he would call me up all the time. Honest John was into the residual income. He
Hmm.
always selling stuff and he always tried to get me. But this particular time he called me up and he was talking, wanted me to get involved, but he started talking. He said, Malika, Ab doesn't read or write. Did you know that? I said, yes. I remember one day I told him that I had moved in with Ab. Let me just say this to rewind. How I moved in with him. Um, Ab, from that famous fall he would do, uh, he he needed a hip replacement. And he started walking, I believe it was on a cane first, one of those canes that this guy, Don D. Burrows, would make for him. But then he started using the walker. He would fall.
Hmm.
Sometimes he would call me up or call Fred that used to be with me all the time. Or my son had said that laying out there in the front of his house in the snow. And he said, would you come and get me? So because he trusted me. He would send me at the restaurant because so many people over there were stealing from him. I'm being honest. He trusted me to go and get these things and count how many plates that was going in and out of his restaurant. So he said to me, uh, he, oh, Honest John said to me, he doesn't know how to read and write. So I explained to Honest John how I found out because he wanted me to come over there and stay. Uh, just so if he falls, somebody would be there to call the paramedics. Um, and one day, I hate to say it, he was laying in his bedroom overnight. I want to say something, but he was laying in his bedroom overnight and he called me up and he said, Malika, I'm laying because of his hip. Both of the hips started to go bad because it was putting pressure on the other. So he said, Malika, can you come over, you and Fred and your son Chico, and help me? He said, I've been here all night. This is the type of person he is. He had a lot of pride and dignity. So he laid there all night in his feces. He couldn't
Oh,
get get to the restroom. I want the people to know the truth,
right.
okay? I want them to know the unadulterated truth. So he said, could you come over there? He said, I asked my son to come. He happened to be going to work. And I called him and he come in the room. I said, could you help me up? He said, no, I gotta go. So he called me. So I came over there to help him. I came to wash him up and everything. He wasn't hurt, so we didn't have to call the paramedics right away. So I washed him up and prepared him so they could pick him up and put him. He wasn't gonna go, and I guess he's used to falling from wrestling. I don't
Taking
understand
bumps.
taking
Yeah.
bumps. I don't understand how he falls all of these times and never end up asking them to take him to the ER, the emergency room. So he asked me to come, and I was, oh my goodness, it was broke my heart to see him laying in the floor like that. And I cleaned him up, and my son helped me somewhat, and called the paramedics, and they came and picked him up. They would come just like this, because a lot of them told me, my son and Fred, that he was their hero years ago, and they would come with no time. So it happened about 5 or 6 times. Then he told me one day his son, there was something that his son caught the people that the two people that were there staying with him supposedly to be there for him if he falls or whatever he needs. And he made them leave. So my son had left, decided to move out. He wanted to go on his own. That's my only child. And it devastated me. I came home from work and I looked around. I said, wait a minute, it looks empty. And I looked in his room. He had everything gone. He wanted to go out and he said, Mom, he told me afterwards, but he wanted to go on his own. So I cried like a baby. I said, why didn't you tell me? He said, because you're so you don't want to let go of me. I'm a man, Mom. And I cried so much. So I went, he didn't come that day to Abdullah's patio to help me sell. Fred did. And I cried. And Ab just came from Japan, him and Honest John. I was crying. Honest John said, what's the matter with you? I told him my son left you. He said, that is not your husband. That is your son. You got to let him go. And he sat down and talked with me, Honest John. He said, I think that you would be a good power of attorney for him. I want you to fill out the papers. He said, I'm gonna get somebody to do it, but he didn't, but somebody else happened to do it for us. And that was in 2000, I think 16, something
Okay.
like that. And we went downtown and filled out the papers and it's down at the courthouse. And then later on, Honest John said, you would be a good manager. And I wonder why he's saying that because he was already his manager. I don't know nothing about pro wrestling, but I left it alone. I never forget that. And eventually, when he passed away, Ab and Melvin Hawk kept telling me, you would be a good manager. Please, they kept saying, I said, no, I don't know nothing about. But then I said to myself, I accept the challenge after Honest John passed because Ab, has a second and third grade level education. And a lot of people, when we revealed it I love Chris Jericho, I never forget him, on his show, like I'm doing with you right now. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. And Chris Jericho, uh, that's when Ab revealed, I told Ab, you must do this. And he revealed that he didn't know how to read and write. That's why when he was in these movies, I let him, he's talked to me. I get to know the person from the inside out.
Hmm.
The outside is just an illusion, you know, but the inner person the is the essence of who they really are. And that's how I am with people. I don't care what no one say about them. When people speak negatively about someone, I gravitate more towards them because people don't realize when the one that most people speak a slander, those are perfect Jews. But you got to get to know that inner them because I was once that.
That makes sense.
I've been through that where I'm being honest and my growth coming up. There's a lot that I've been through. I think I told you. And
Yes.
I was like a black sheep, you know, but people don't get to know the inner person, the love that I have in me. Okay. I am a vessel, a vehicle of love. I don't have time to listen about the negative things about people. None of us are clean. We all have
No.
skeletons in our closet. We all came from somewhere. And that's what I love about about Abdullah the Butcher, Larry Shreve. That's who I got to know, Larry
Larry.
Shreve. Abdullah the Butcher is an entertainer.
That's
Larry
right.
Shreve, that's where the essence of who he really is. And that's what I got. I'm blessed to get to know this remarkable man.
He is truly remarkable. So, what
Yes.
has it been like slipping into the role of manager in this new world of wrestling and dealing with the promoters, dealing with the different organizations, dealing with Abdullah's fans and people? How has that been? It's a different world, right? How did you kind of acclimate into being a wrestling manager? um, Kind of out of the blue. You have a lot of business acumen, I'll give you that. But as you said, that's a different world.
It's a whole different world. Yes. Um,
So,
go ahead. Please
no,
finish.
no. So, how did you kind of adjust to that? And what was your perspective, your perception of the wrestling world as far as people trying to book Abby, people trying to help Abby, the different organizations that try to help him, people, just maybe some of them trying to use him, some of them trying to help him. Can you just give me an idea of kind of the things that you've kind of gone through, what you've learned throughout your experience?
Yeah, the businesses that I've been in, I've been through some things, of course, in the businesses. You live and you learn. And I take them as learning. This life is a big classroom. You understand? And there are many lessons to be learned, and you're going to be tested on that which you know, learn. And I've been through a lot of tests and business, but let me tell you, the wrestling business is it's completely different. But the thing about it is I love the fans.
That's
You,
great.
oh my God, the fans, those are the ones. The fans, Ab has some awesome fans. They really love him.
We
And they don't
do.
care what nobody says about him. They love him and they really support him. And I learned that, well, I'm always like that anyway. I always give the person a better, I don't care what you say about nobody. I don't care. I do have trust issues, I'm gonna be honest, because of what I've been through. You and I discussed that. But when it
Right.
comes to, because of what I've been through, I have always been misjudged. You understand? So I understand what it is for people to misjudge, and they believe what somebody else says without ascertaining the facts. So I am very sensitive to a lot of things like that, to people, and I look at people. I am a reader. I could see the beauty in them. I'm not interested in what they did in the past because I wasn't perfect in the past. My mom named me Jocelyn, but my brother gave me the name Malika because he told me, him and his two friends, that I am a queen, the way I carry myself. So with all due respect to my mom, Jocelyn doesn't live here any longer. I
Right.
have a name that I can live up to because Jocelyn, there was a little girl that was dying to grow up and develop and evolve, but she was trapped within because of her past. So I
That's
had
right.
to remove myself from that. And it was a blessing that my brother gave me that name uh, at this event, a naming event, and I appreciate it. And I take pride in that. Before I didn't feel that way. I had low self-esteem. I didn't love myself. I Years ago I tried to commit suicide. I'm saying this for someone out there. I want you to look at me. I've been through a lot, and one day you and I could do this again. You may see me in what you think is my glory, but you don't know my story. You don't know what makes me the person that I am today, that sticks by this man that sometimes they slander and they speak all manner of evil against. We all make mistakes in our lives. And we have to understand that there's two sides to a story. You know, we can't believe everything that what you hear on the internet. We can't.
That's right.
I tell people don't even message me with this nonsense. I don't have time for that negative energy. And you know what? I appreciate you for this is the first time I ever did something like this. I have
That-
so much stored within me for many years that there's a lot that one day that I would say I wasn't able to speak what's in me. I wasn't able to the beauty that I have in me now. I want to give it to the world. I want to show the world what it is to love someone instead of hating them and saying bad things about people. You don't know what makes them who and what they are. That's why I gravitated to Larry Shreve. Not Abdullah the Butcher, Larry Shreve. I wanted to know who he was. And his manager obviously seen that in me. And he told me about him. And I told him, I don't know if I could do that. But after he was gone, I those words resonated. And Melvin Hawk and Abdullah kept trying to convince me. And I said, I accept the challenge to myself. I'm going to try. But being in this business, I love it.
Good. That's great.
I love it. I don't like some of the crookedness and how people
Yeah.
take advantage but I said what I believe, I don't know. Honest John and Ab would travel all over when I would be on the patio. But when Honest John left, I believe what I brought to his life was structure. You understand,
Yes.
how always told me I was a mark and I was naive.
Hmm.
But I because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and Ab is about the business of his money. I don't blame him though. Now it took years for me to see. He said, "You're a mark. You don't understand." Years for me to see this is a Hall of Famer, and you want him to come, you want to book him and nickel and dime him. And people say he was greedy, but I don't blame him. I don't think, you know what? If they only knew Ab made money to give it away.
Right.
My son and I talk about that, laugh about it, because soon as he make it, he gives it away. Here comes his sisters and brothers, his sisters flying in town, his niece. They flying in town. He gives away money. Take them, buy them clothing. Just give money away. Every time he comes back from out of the country, whatever. And oh, he'll go on the streets. I seen him give his shirt. I mean, not his shirt. I'm sorry. I like to be his coat and his hat off his back. And he just gets money. And we laugh at it because there's nothing that you could do about it. And I could see when he doesn't have money how that's one thing that makes him sad because I believe that he doesn't feel uh uh like he's I don't know how to explain it when he doesn't have the money. Like right now, people think, I've heard they call me that I'm taking his money. What money does I, you know,
I'm glad you addressed that. So you had made
oh
the
my
comment to
God.
me that there are people who think that you were somehow taking advantage of Larry or something. There's,
Oh
there are
my God.
always those out there. What do you have to say to those people?
Listen to me. When I was selling on his patio, there were times that his gas at the restaurant. One thing, I'm not into emasculating no man, but I'm being honest. And one thing Ab knows about me, I'm very honest and straightforward. When his lights was out one time, and it's one time his gas, nobody else, he asked certain ones in his family, could you loan me the money to get the restaurant lights? Guess who gave it to him, loaned it to him? It was me. This is about three different times. I had my beauty, my at that time I had my boutiques because I seen the type of person he was. I trusted him. I loaned him the money. One time it was $1,500. One time it was $1,200. He'd give it back to me. Sometimes he'd take his time. I get mad. But I trusted him, and it hurt me that all that he would do for those closest to him when it was his time, when he was in need, when he was out of the country and he needed the lights back on, nobody would give it to him. So, and even now, he promised me when I first moved in, I'm not being a caretaker, it's not my field of endeavor. I'm used to working in corporate America, or I have my own business. I did this because it was, I believe that God sent me to him. I don't know what it was that God sent me. If there, it got so that if I needed something, he would give me. He trusted me. And we developed this relationship. He's like the father that I
That's right.
needed in my life.
That's right. I'm
Uh,
glad you said that. You
The
said that he's
father.
such a father figure to you.
Oh my gosh. When he's home, I'm here at the house. I miss him. I adore him. I'll tell him, I'm not ashamed. I have nothing. There's nothing. I mean, what do I have to hide? He's the brother. He's more of a brother to me than my brothers, my biological. He's the father that I needed in my life. You and I talked about that.
Yeah.
The people don't know what they're talking about. I
Right.
want them to know me. I'm not batting my eyes. I'm not putting my head down. There's nothing for me to hide. I look for this all the days of my life. Somebody that would accept me for who and what I am, to see the beauty in me and not judge me, misjudge me. That's what he represented in my life. Him and Fred, all three of us. Fred was maybe about 12 years younger than Ab, and he was about 15 years older than me. They were my guardian angels. Fred passed away.
And now you're the guardian angel for Abby.
Yes, I don't like to say it, but you know,
You are. So
I really, I, I'm not going to give up on him. I don't care. You don't know what I'm going through, what he has been through. Um, I don't, I just can't. What I see, my strength comes from God first, but it comes from him. I have never seen anybody as strong as this man is. And
yeah.
Chad Driggers, I don't know if you know him. He comes, I don't let too many come to visit him because
Hmm.
of some of the stuff that I hear. So I'm very protective of him. He's a man, yes, but in his golden years, in his old age, he's not able to do, he's bedbound. And I am going to fight for him with all that I have within me. These people at the hospitals and nursing homes, I respectfully, I fight for him. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
There's nobody else there but me,
I
and they could
don't.
say what they want.
You have been there for him by his side hours and hours and hours at a
Yes,
time.
yes,
You're watching out for him from every angle. I mean, you're giving your whole world right now to
yes,
Larry, and we
yes.
truly appreciate it.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
and I just want to talk about the emotional toll that it's kind of taken on you having such a, doing all of this. I know that it's important for you and it drives you. And of course we love Abby and you love him to death, but How are you handling the stress? How are you handling all of this?
Hmm.
What's it doing to you?
Listen, I've developed high blood pressure. Right now, if you could see my ankles, how wide they are, I haven't even been to a doctor because my whole um because I don't know, it's my my whole focus is on seeing him through because he's like, and again, I'm gonna say it, he's the father that I needed in my life, someone to understand me, to get to know me from the inside out. So I've neglected myself. And a lot of times I fall asleep on the wheel when I'm driving. My son, certain ones that are close to me, they worry about me. I go to the hospital, some places an hour, hour and a half away, and I fall asleep on the wheel and almost get in accidents. And nobody likes to get in a car with me because I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I would never give up. I'm not depressed, but I'm exhausted. It's a lot what I do. It's a lot. And there, it's a lot that's going on. And if people love Abby, they will respect who he chooses to be by his side and help him.
Absolutely.
If you're really concerned about him, Abby has got up there on his social media and told them how he respects me. Ab is not a fool. Trust me. This man is it's far from, he may have a second and third grade, but he's traveled all around the world. He's seen a lot. He has put thousands of dollars years ago around me. I believe he did it to test me.
Mhm.
And he always tell people he's given me his debit card to go into the bank. He doesn't even know how to go to an ATM machine. Please believe me. I take pride in being a woman of integrity.
I know
And
you
it's
do.
been a lot on me. And one day I said to him, you need to learn how to do this yourself. That's why you have been taken advantage of by those closest to you. Let me take you and show you how to do. You shouldn't even trust me with your debit card. You haven't known me long enough to trust me. He would tell you I said this, but he believes in me, you know. So I do everything for him, even before I became his power of attorney, you know. So somebody that have that kind of trust in me and believes in me like that, I can't fail them. I just want to thank you for allowing me to tell my story, you know.
I appreciate you being on and sharing this story with me. You're a wonderful woman. I enjoy speaking with you.
Thank you.
I feel like we've gotten closer through all of this, and I'm really grateful. If you had a message out there, first of all, what kind of legacy? Abdullah's already got a legacy as a wrestler, as a Hall of Famer. What kind of legacy do you see for yourself that you want to build? And if you do you have any messages out there for other caregivers who are going through what you're going through right now?
One thing I would like to say to him, but I'm not setting the best example, is take care of yourself because a lot of times I don't feel well. My son worries about me. He says, Mom, if something happens to you, what are you going to do? But take care of yourself. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. But what I want to say to the world, the legacy I would love to live is serve others. If you have it to give, even if it is of your time, take your time when you have the time and go out and do for someone that's not able to do for themselves. And I am an example. I don't, I don't, I don't want for my son. Let me tell you, I tell anybody, when you take care of your mother and your father, God is going to send angels in the form of well-made men and women to look out for you. And let me tell you, I have one of the best sons in the world. I don't want for nothing. My son, and I feel guilty. And you know what my son said to me the other day? He said, "Ma, you have always been independent." And I told him, I don't want you to do this. He'll do certain things. No, he says, no, Ma, you have always been independent and you always took good care of me. Now it's my time to take care of you. When you take care of your mother and father, it may not be your children that take care of you, like Ab. He has one son. It's somebody else. I'm there taking care of him. My son is taking care of both of us in the background, keeping the bills paid. You understand? This is how it works. It's like a seesaw effect. You may be down up one day, and then the seesaw is going down, and you're going up. We have to be there for one another, our loved ones. Never forget the bridge that helped carry you across. You know,
Absolutely.
and that's the legacy. I would like to live a legacy of love. That's my love and service. That's my legacy I would like to leave behind.
That is
Yes.
absolutely beautiful.
I
Thank you for
long for
sharing.
that. Yes.
So I really hope that you'll be available maybe for a part two
Of
when you have
course.
time in your busy schedule. I
Yes.
can't tell you how honored I am that you agreed to be on Clearwater Fangirl. I really enjoy speaking with you and hearing
Hmm.
more about your story. And thank you. Thank you again. It was such a pleasure. And I hope we get to talk again soon.
And it's my honor to do this with you. And one day I'm looking forward to meeting you. I love your beautiful spirit. And whenever you want to do this again, just call me. I
Okay,
I have
you
a lot
too.
to give to others. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Okay, take care of yourself. Take care of Abby for us.
Yes. Thank you
Okay,
very much. I sure
okay.
will. All
Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't know.
It's butcher time. We can't get enough. A born survivor, fearless and tough. An elite performer, second to none. A living legend whose work is never done. They can lie, they can slander, they can scandalize your name, but truth keeps shining just the same as Team Abby proudly fans your flame. Every battle, every scar made you the legend that you are. In the wrestling world, you helped raise the bar. Yes, Abdullah the Butcher, you rock, you're a shining star. The lights may fade, but one thing's true. The world always remember you. It's butcher time. We can't get enough. A money maker, rule breaker, independent and tough. Team Abby, raise 'em high. Let the whole world sing. Legend, icon, hero, forever your icon. silence, strength in your soul. Your story lies forever, making broken people whole. It's but your time. Oh, it's but your time. Oh, we can't get enough. Abdullah the butcher, forever tough. A champion's heart will never hide. Through every storm you stood with pride. When life got heavy you held on tight, turning every darkness into light. Your strength became our guiding flame. No one will ever wear your name the same. The legacy lives, it won't expire. You lit the world with wrestling fire. It's but your time. Feel one more. Your name will echo, oh, forevermore. Team Abby, stand us proud. Let the whole world say the love, the honor, and respect will never fade away. There's power in your silence, strength in your soul. Your story lives forever, making broken people whole. It's but your time.